examples are products like Apple, which are known also for innovation and simplicity, Nike for motivation and performance, among so many others. And we mentioned also elements of a brand, and we talked about personal branding versus business branding and brand positioning. And we mentioned some examples of strong brands. So today we are going to talk about digital presence and content starter tips. So what's a digital presence? Digital presence is how you appear online or how you are perceived online across various platforms or channels. So that includes any social media platform. It includes everything that you do, from the various social media profiles, the website in case you wrote something or you've appeared somewhere, you commented somewhere. All that includes your digital presence, as it comes from the name digital. So you can just think of it about as your online personality or your footprint. So that includes your social media content, your bio and photos, the comments you leave, your website or blog or any other website apart from yours if you participated. That is reviews or testimonials or about your work. So digital presence, you can just look at it as the total of all places you show up online and how you show up. So examples of where people can find you is like websites or portfolios, social media platforms. It cuts across, that is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, maybe YouTube, all of it. Google search results. If somebody Googles your name or even a celebrity, sometimes when somebody tells you about a celebrity, the first thing you go to maybe is the Google or the social media platform on the search icon, you search for them. So that is their digital presence. Example is also email newsletters. For example, there are brands which interact with you, they share with you. When you subscribe, you get updates or tips or offers from them via email. So this helps them get direct access to the audience and create a deeper relationship with them. So for example, maybe something like a fashion brand, when it sends a weekly newsletter with something like styling tips, if they have new arrivals that have come, or if they have discount codes. So one way that they can use is email newsletters, WhatsApp business catalogs. At least, if I'm not wrong, 2 or 3 years ago, WhatsApp introduced WhatsApp Business, whereby you can be able to create a catalog, and it's like a mini digital shop. So within WhatsApp, where you can put your product or your service with pictures, prices, and description. You can put your business profile with your location, working hours, or contact details. Or you can even put auto replies. I want to believe that almost all of us have come across auto replies, whereby you can DM a business and maybe the chatbot or something like that can be reply something like, "Hi, I'm here to help you," or "Hi, we are not online, but we'll get to you soon," or "It's not our working hours, we work from this time to this time, please feel free to leave a message," something like that. So the WhatsApp Business Catalog is also a good platform. So for example, like I have an auntie who is a baker. So she uploads cakes and prices onto her WhatsApp catalog. So when you get her number, or maybe from online, if it directs you to her WhatsApp DM, clients are able to browse and ask questions and place orders all in one place. So yeah, I'd like us to do a small activity now that we are here. Who'd like to volunteer? Anyone? We can just maybe search your name on Google so that we're able to see your presence. Anyone who'd like to volunteer? Okay, thank you, Juliet. So we are going to search Juliet's name on Google so that we can see an example of digital presence. So Juliet Abuday, let's just try searching that. So this is Juliet's profile. This is Juliet's digital presence, sorry. So we can see Juliet is on Facebook. We can see Juliet is on LinkedIn. We can see she's on Webnovel and some of her images. And she's also on LinkedIn and TikTok. And maybe she might have left her, okay, also on Pinterest. So that's an example of a digital presence. Thank you, Juliet. So if we can continue. What's the importance of digital presence? You see, your digital presence, it's what speaks for you, even when you're offline. When somebody says something like celebrities, they don't have to keep on advertising themselves. Influencers, they don't have to keep on advertising themselves. Immediately you hear about so-and-so, you just go and search quickly on their profile, depending on whichever social media platform or whichever avenue. So your digital presence works for you even when you're not online. It's your first impression. When people search for you, whatever they see first is what they get the impression about you. So if they see you post pictures of you dancing, maybe they might imply that, okay, she's a dancer or he's a dancer. If they see you, most of your posts are about singing, they can easily get the impression that you're a singer or something like that. So people often Google you or check your profiles before working with you, buying from you, or hiring you. Yes, that's very true. For example, somebody like me who likes to shop a lot online, especially on platforms like Instagram, before I shop for that dress or that cloth, I go to the seller's profile. It could be an organization, it could be a shop, it could be an individual. I go to their profile, I see, okay, so what have they been posting? Are they active sellers? Because if you post once, we're not sure if you're genuine, because you see, it creates trust. When I can see that, okay, you've sold a couple of things, not just one item. If we can see reviews, we can see testimonials, we can see from people who have bought from you before, it's able to give us, it's able to create trust and a connection so that other people, when they just visit your profile, they're able to say, okay, this could be a genuine seller and I wanted such and such an item, I can purchase from them. So whether you're a freelancer or an entrepreneur or a job seeker, a strong, clear digital presence sets you apart. So let's come to choosing your platforms. You see, not all platforms work for everyone. For example, it was on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we talked about, I asked people to mention the platforms that they like using most. So I remember, I think Daniel said he likes using X most. Others mentioned Facebook. Others mentioned Instagram. Others mentioned TikTok. So you see, that's your strength, and it's best that you make use of your strength rather than just going across, cutting across all platforms and you do not understand how they work. You're going to be hitting a miss. So not all platforms are equal and not everyone needs to be on every platform. So some tips for choosing platforms, you can look at things like, where's my audience spending most of their time? And who are your audience at the first place? Because if it's the older people, yeah, they're most likely going to be appealed by a certain platform more than another platform. For example, young people like seeing a lot of videos and reels more than reading articles. So you get to, so from that, you're able to choose a platform. So you realize, okay, so where's most of my audience, where are they spending most of their time? So there is where you maximize. What kind of content do you like creating? You see, not everyone likes creating videos. Maybe there are people who are camera shy. So platforms which need a lot of visuals and all that might not be their strength, and they could be good writers. Others, depending on your product or your service, it could require you to be posting a lot of images. So from that, you're able to realize, okay, what works best for me? So which platform fits my brand personality? As yesterday we talked about branding. So from your brand, which one fits your personality most? But we're going to look at the various platforms, so don't be worried. So we can have a look at some of the platforms and what works best for each platform. So for example, Instagram is more visual, especially videos. So if you're somebody who likes posting reels and stories which are in video format, Instagram will work best for you. The younger audience, the younger people, they're most likely to be found more on Instagram than maybe on Facebook. So what kind of as we've looked at on the tips, we've also mentioned on what kind of content do you like creating. So from that, you're able to see. So for example, if you like creating content for lifestyle or fashion, you see Instagram will work best for you. Okay, an example of LinkedIn. From the first impression, when you hear LinkedIn, most people hear networking and job searching. So if you're looking for a job, you're most likely to thrive better in LinkedIn rather than on TikTok, for example, where you can share your portfolio of your academic, whatever your academic history, your achievements, your career path, and all that, so that you're able to network with other people like-minded professionals who, it could be an organization, it could be an individual, where they post something they've achieved, milestones they've covered. People go to learn there from other professionals as well, and also thought leaders, and also B2B services. B2B means business to business services. So for example, let me look for an example that I can use to explain in a simple manner. For example, something like a digital marketing agency that helps small businesses with something like social media presence or awareness. So that's a business to a business service. Or maybe something like a software company that sells inventory management tools to retail stores. So that's a business to business service. And the opposite of business to business service could be B2C, that is business to consumer, that is rather an individual who is the consumer. Okay, so a platform like TikTok, it's usually more of storytelling, creativity, virality. If you want something to go viral, you're most likely to achieve that on TikTok as opposed to other platforms. Some trending content. So depending on whatever you know, your niche and what you can create best, this can guide you on choosing a platform. So for Facebook usually appeals more to groups, to older audience, to local businesses, especially in fact, if you're doing local businesses, Facebook could easily work well for you. So YouTube, you can also create long form content, especially if you have videos that are more than, let's say, 10 minutes or so. You see, people on Instagram and Facebook aren't going to watch a video for 1 hour. More likely they'll watch it more on YouTube rather than on Facebook and Instagram or TikTok. Or maybe long storytelling or tutorials and guides, YouTube can work best for you. So if you're somebody who likes to write, Twitter or X, that was formerly Twitter, will work best for you. Maybe tech enthusiasts, where you can, somebody who wants to show a step-by-step on coding, something like Twitter can work best for you. Or maybe a brand handling customer service. So for example, here in Kenya, the organization that handles electricity or power, called Kenya Power, they usually work based on Twitter. Or maybe a thought leader who also is building their voices and wants to engage with public disclosure, Twitter will work best for you. Okay, so a tip is also that you can choose 1 or 2 platforms to start with, and you master them before expanding. So you don't, maybe you've started a business or a service. It's not a must that you now create a profile in all social media platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of them at once. You can maybe focus on 1 or 2, which you're more conversant with and more comfortable with, and especially where most of your friends and colleagues and your network are at first. And as you continue to grow, you can be able to now move, let's say, to a 3rd platform after you understand how it works. And it's not a must. Sometimes even the people who just thrive on 1 platform and they do so well, they can maybe just be on Facebook and it's just enough for them, or maybe on Instagram and it just works for them. So you depending on your strength, you can choose 1 or 2 platforms you master well, you master your craft, and then maybe you can expand as you continue to see, okay, is my audience expanding? Will I get more of my clients on these other platforms as well? Because maybe you're not going to get your clients on LinkedIn. So if you're something like a consultant in an agency, yes, you can get clients and business partners in LinkedIn, but maybe there are services or products that you offer that one would not appeal to a certain platform. So yes. So we can look at examples of content types. So content can be educational, can be to inspire, can be to entertain, can be to promote. So for example, when we come to education, for education purposes, things like tips. Maybe you know how to, for example, like my Dream Connect shares tips every Wednesday on tech tips, some guidelines on either of our learning tracks. Please make sure to follow out for that. So if it could be a tip you're sharing, it could be a tutorial, maybe how to do, especially YouTube, you'll see a lot of how-to videos, the tutorials and the guides. If you're looking for something, especially if you're beginning in coding or something like that, you'll tend to use a lot of online, maybe YouTube. You want to go and check maybe an Indian tech guy who managed to do a certain code and you're stuck. So your content could be educational, because this builds trust. If people realize that you understand what you do, they're most likely to trust you to purchase your services. For example, you're a financial consultant and they realize, okay, you do understand the various investment types, maybe the bonds, maybe the money market funds. If they realize you understand what you do, they are more likely to come and tell you to purchase your services. When you now start offering consultancy services, they're more likely to trust you because they realize, okay, yeah, we've seen she can show us maybe the process of purchasing a car. Maybe you know the process of purchasing a car. So if I'm going to look for a car, I'll more likely come to you because I've seen on your platform before sharing guides and tips on how to purchase a car. So your content could also be to inspire people. Things like quotes or success stories, or maybe even transformations of a before and after. Maybe you're a contractor or an engineer. You can show the before process and the after process. You see, that builds a connection with the audience. It's like they're able to flow through with your story. They're able to see your journey from before and after. Maybe a success story, for example, like my Dream Connect bootcamp. They're able to see when you came as a beginner where you didn't know how to do coding, or you weren't on any social media platform, you didn't know how to navigate the social media and the digital space, to now you being a pro, owning your own organization, or able to market your things out there and translate it to sales. So yeah, that's examples of stories, content to inspire. So your content could also be for entertainment purposes. Examples are things like memes, reels, maybe trends, especially on the TikTok platform. It's more of entertainment purposes. So it depends on whatever you do. You could be a very good comedian, you know how to make us laugh, or you know how to come up with good scripts. So your content could be entertaining. And then it will also be promotional. For example, you're very good at sales and marketing or persuading people to buy something. You could be able to showcase products. You could be able to advertise offers well so that people are able to leverage on them, and even testimonials, because this helps drive sales. So another tip is use the 80-20 rule. 80% value and 20% selling. You see, people are going to buy value over selling. If you're just focused on, I need to sell this stuff, I need to sell this stuff, but what problem are you solving? For example, I could use something like, for us women, a skincare product. For example, I have a skin condition. It could be eczema or acne or pimples, something like that. So if your product is offering me the value of helping me to get a better skin condition, I'm more likely to purchase from you rather than you focusing on just selling and converting the sales to money rather than what value are you offering. So people buy value, people buy solutions. So most of us are beginners here, and we can just look at a few tips and tools for beginners when you're navigating into the digital space. So I'm sure all of us have heard of Canva before, and maybe a bigger percentage of us have interacted with it. So Canva is usually good for designing posts, stories, or flyers. So let's say you're a beginner and you don't even have the resources to hire a good graphic designer. You can just go to Canva. It has templates. So maybe you want to do, and nowadays it's so good because you can be able to customize it to whatever, to tailor suit whatever you want. Maybe you want to advertise a food product, you're able to get that template. You want to advertise an event coming, you're able to get an event poster. So it's very easy to work with, and then you can just customize even the free option. It just doesn't have to be the premium. Even for a beginner, I could highly suggest Canva. Maybe you have an event coming and it's a service you offer, or you're an artist or something like that. You can just go to Canva quickly, design a post, and you post it on your social media, on your WhatsApp status, on your Instagram stories, and you're able to leverage on that. And then also CapCut and InShot for video editing. If you're into videos and creating maybe stories, or you like to to advertise your product or services via videos, CapCut and InShot are really the best for beginner friendly. So you can just, and they're also easy to navigate. Actually, at the beginning of the bootcamp, I want to believe that you are advised to install these applications, because in the latter weeks as we continue, we are going to be using them. So in case maybe you might have forgotten or you didn't get that information, I could highly advise you to download Canva, download CapCut, maybe even start, just familiarize yourself with it, have a look at it. And as we continue, we are going to use them, and maybe a step-by-step guide, and even create one or two content from them. But for Reels, for TikToks, yes, actually most of even the influencers and on Instagram and TikTok, they use these simple applications. They don't go advanced. Okay, something like Google Docs for writing captions and blog posts. Maybe if you're into writing articles, this could work well for you. Notion and Twilio for planning, but although this one I've seen mostly with organizations, but even as an individual, you can use it to plan and schedule your tasks, and it does really work well. So I'll advise that maybe in the course of the weekend, just have a look at them, familiarize yourself with it. You might even realize you want to even start using them immediately and you've been missing out. So another tip is I'll advise repurpose one idea into multiple formats across platforms. So one of the things that we do at My Dream Connect for our sorry. So one of the things that we do at My Dream Connect is we tailor suit a post or a content so that it's able to suit various platforms. An example, when we write blogs or articles for our website, if you write, maybe it's a 6-paragraph article, if you post that on something like Facebook, people are not going to read it. It's something that is they scrolling and scrolling and scrolling down. They'll get tired. So you could write the full article on our website and then put a shorter version or a summary that you can post on Facebook, maybe a 1 paragraph or 2 paragraph, and then you can conclude with something like, to read more, click on the link below. So when you click on the link, it directs you to our website. So that way you've tailor-suited this content to be able to suit different platforms. As you realize, okay, for Facebook, this works best. For LinkedIn, this works best because if you follow our platforms, on Fridays, we usually write blogs and posts and articles. So you could see a feature like that. Please be on the lookout. So content pillars. When you're posting content, it's good to have a theme or something you're also known about. Maybe some 3 or 4 themes that you major on. It helps you to stay focused and helps your audience know what you stand for. For example, a digital marketer could be posting content tips, personal stories, and industry news. Or a fashion brand posting styling tips, behind the scenes, or customer features. So in real life example, maybe you're a girl or a male who's interested in fashion. You want to realize, okay, such and such a person, maybe Georgine usually posts fashion tips every Monday. So every Monday, I'm looking out for your page to realize a tip that I could use. Even at My Dream Connect, we usually have themes that we use, let's say motivational posts or quotes, something like tech tips and maybe articles. So when people know that, okay, you post tech tips, they look out on your page for that. Or if they realize, okay, you post content tips, because I'm sure there are people on social media platforms that we follow because they post something that we are eager to learn about. So you can have like some few things that usually people can know you about. If they're looking for a certain idea or a certain idea, you're the best person to go to. This can help you be leveraged, and it helps you create a brand and awareness because people are going to be like, okay, if I want this tip, even when talking with friends, you could be realize, okay, I'm looking for, I don't know how to post my content. Let's say you're a content creator for a beginner. So your friend could recommend to you that such and such a person usually posts content tips on her page or his page. You should follow them. So you see that person has already created an awareness and the platform continues to increase and grow. One of the ways whereby you can maximize and catch an audience is through storytelling. People like a story. People like stories that they can connect with. So people connect to stories more than facts. A simple model is following the problem, struggle, breakthrough, and result. So I'm going to share an example. So maybe you can just follow through this story with me. As I was saying, maybe let's say I've been suffering from a skin disease, or maybe my face has been having a breakout. I get a lot of pimples and acne. So that's a problem. Let's say you are a person who's selling skincare products. So how can you transform this to a story? Maybe I was suffering from a skin problem, maybe acne. Let's just use an example of acne. Maybe I've been suffering from acne for a long time. So I've been looking for a solution. I've tried multiple products. I've tried maybe this product, I've tried this product. I won't mention names. I'm suggesting an example. You've tried multiple products before and you're not getting something that works for you. So you decided to maybe make your own product. And you realize that this product, it works for you. So the breakthrough is I've started to realize that the acne have started reducing and reducing. And then the end result was I now have a smooth face and a clear skin. So you see, that's a story. And then somebody else who's been struggling with a skin problem is going to relate with you like, okay, yes, I also suffer from the same condition, and I've not been able to get a breakthrough, or I've not been able to get a solution. So you say this works for you, and that way you've connected with them, and they're likely to try your product or service. Another example, maybe you're on weight loss journey. We've seen a lot of weight loss products. I don't know which one. I'm not going to mention names, but you've seen a lot of weight loss products. So you could be, as a seller, you are struggling with weight problems. An example, maybe you are weighing maybe you are obese, or you're weighing something that you didn't want. So you've been struggling, you went to the gym, maybe it didn't work out, you started reducing your eating, it didn't work out, you've tried several ways to burn calories or what have you, it hasn't worked out, but you've been able to come up with a certain product, or you used a certain product, and then you started to realize, okay, I'm now seeing results, I've started reducing weight, and the end result is you've now achieved the weight that you want. So somebody who's facing a similar problem is going to connect with you and be like, okay, yes, I'm also suffering from the same problem, and I'm looking for a solution, and I haven't been able to get it. So people are able to connect with storytelling. So from those two examples, if you work in, you should have seen that I've mentioned a problem, the struggle, the breakthrough, and then results. You share real life experiences because people resonate with it. If they realize, okay, I can get somebody who's facing a similar problem, and they've been able to manage, I can also manage, and they have faith in your product or your services. So real stories build real engagement. So some of the takeaways from today's session: you don't need to be perfect to start. Done is better than perfect. And start where you are with what you have. There's a YouTuber I follow. She's in Nigeria. I don't know, maybe one or two people have heard of her. She's called Winifred Nwania. She has a channel called Winnie School of Elegance or Excellence. So one day she was explaining her story, and she was saying that she started her first channel called Delicious Foods, where she cooks recipes and shows various ways to cook different recipes. So she was seeing her journey, how she started, and she was saying that she didn't even have a phone. She was using her ex-boyfriend's phone to shoot with content. But you see, she started from there, from whatever she had. And right now, as you're speaking, so this was this year, that was like 2-3 years ago, I think, or maybe even more. And then as at this year, she has 2 YouTube channels. She's able to hire a full media team, a camera crew, where they've purchased everything: cameras, lights, batteries, everything content related. So this is just to say that start where you are with what you have. So maybe it's just a phone. So let's not use the excuse of yesterday you were talking about iPhone having a good camera. I don't know, Samsung. Maybe you might not be using any of those, but just start with whatever you have, so that as you advance, for example, I think I remember somebody said that she's into the food and beverage industry. So maybe you could be advertising food products. You could just use your phone for a start, and then use some of the content tools that we've talked about, something like Canva, to create your posts, something like CapCut to edit your videos on your phone, because at least now these applications are now available on our phones. And as you continue to grow, you're able to now purchase more and do better. And then focus on value, because again, as we had mentioned earlier, using the 80-20 rule, people will buy 80% value. So focus on 80% value and 20% selling. The bigger percentage should be on offering value, something that is going to solve a solution and create a difference. Because if you offer a solution, people are ready to pay for a solution. Maybe you're the best designer or what have you. People are going to pay whatever it takes to get the best design or the best clothes. So focus on value, be consistent. So we've looked at digital presence. And if you're posting once and then you disappear, you post again and then you disappear, you see your page is not active. When the algorithm works for your audience, you're not going to pop up more frequently because you're not active and you don't post frequently, you don't appear frequently. Create a connection. There's somebody who said yesterday that they like Bandari Beauty, and I also like Bandari Beauty as well. So one of the key aspects for Bandari Beauty is they create a connection with the audience, whereby the audience feels like family. It's not just about a customer, it's making you feel at home. So create a connection with your users. And lastly, build one step at a time. Okay, so I'll welcome any questions. In case there are any questions, you can drop on the comment box in regards to today's presentation. Any questions so far? Okay, so in case there's any question, please feel free to drop on the comment box or the chat box. Okay, so I'm going to leave us with some few assignments. So the first assignment, we've looked at creating digital presence. So you can write a one-line bio. So all of us, they said that there's a platform that they use, if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, if it's LinkedIn or TikTok or whichever. Create a one-line bio. So this one-line bio should follow this format: what you do, who you help, and your unique value. So an example, I'm a business consultant helping small businesses grow online through design and strategy. So you see this, we are already learning on how to create a digital presence. So that's our first activity that we're going to do for today to help us engage our digital presence, because we say your digital presence is how do people perceive you. So when they go online, from whatever they see, that is how they'll perceive you. So today we want to improve our digital presence by doing a simple exercise of writing a one-line bio. It doesn't have to be long. So following the format. So for example, in this example I've shared here, what do you do? So this one is, I'm a business consultant. Who do you help? This one helps small businesses. And what's their unique value? They help small businesses grow online through design and strategy. So I like and encourage each one of us to take the weekend and just from whichever social platform, create just a one-line bio of what you do, and we'll talk about it on Monday. And we are going to debate and share from each other and improve our digital presence. So the next exercise is just a simple one: to follow My Dream Connect on all its social pages, that is Facebook and LinkedIn, because one way I believe that you can show appreciation to My Dream Connect for allowing us this opportunity to learn this track is through following and engaging on their social media platforms. This creates awareness. So let me just check if somebody dropped a question. Okay, David said that I missed the first part of this lecture due to network. Can I get a recap or lecture note? Yes, at the end of the week, the notes are going to be uploaded on the Google Drive. So my colleague Oluwatumisin will share that on the group. All the slides for this week are going to be shared, hopefully today or tomorrow. So you'll be able to get a recap. Oh, I see Jivet in stock is asking a question. My question is, if you don't have any photos on social media, will you be found on social media? And what if you use different names across all social media? Okay, if you don't have any photos on social media, yes, you can still be found on social media. If you've commented on maybe posts, you don't post photos, but maybe you write articles, or you engage on other platforms in maybe liking and all that. That one will be seen when somebody searches your social media profile. So the next question was, what if you use different names across social media? So for that one, whatever that will pop in is whatever the user or whoever is searching you would. Oh, sorry. Oluwatumisin, I see your hands is raised. It's okay. Let me just answer. Okay. Oluwatumisin, you had something to share? Okay. The next question that Jivet asked was, what if you use different names across different social media platforms? So whatever that will appear is whatever that was searched. For example, we searched sorry, Oluchi, are you speaking?
Hello, Georgine. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I missed some part of the class. I don't know if the session will be sent later to the group.
Yes, at the end of the week, the slides for the whole week are going to be shared. My colleague Oluwatumisin will share on the group a link to our Google Drive where you can see the slides for the whole of this week. So don't be worried, you'll get access to the slides.
Okay, another question I have is, okay, I want to know, for somebody that is into, maybe I am into a lingerie kind of business, and I don't have access, or I don't have the finance to. Hello, can you hear me?
Could you pardon again? I didn't get you.
Okay, I'm into lingerie kind of business, and the business is kind of it's fashion. I know my supplier usually sends pictures and the latest designs to us. Now, my question is, how do we create content based on the fact that it's another person's pictures? Can I use it and create content? Can I use the pictures sent? How do I use it to create my own content?
Okay, if I got you right, or if I understood the question, you said you are on the fashion industry and your designer sends you photos of designs, or your
Yes,
supplier, sorry.
yes,
Okay,
yes, my supplier.
so it depends on what is your aim, because your supplier sends you, and then what do you do with them? Do you come up with are you the one who makes the designs, or what happens? For more context.
No, what they send designs to enable us, post on our WhatsApp pages or on our Facebook or Instagrams the latest designs and their prices. But I can't be stocking all of them, all the products in with me. So my point is, how do I create content with what the supplier has already sent to me, so that it will be my own original content?
Okay, you can post that. You can post content. So for example, let me just use an example of what we do on My Dream Connect. Sometimes the images or the quotes we post are not ours directly. So you can post and mention the owner for ownership rights, because you see what happens in the digital space. You can be sued for infringement or for copyright issues if there's somebody decides to sue you for using their content. So for example, let me use an example like Instagram. You've seen somebody post a picture. They've used to tag that maybe the photographer was so and so, the model was so and so. So for example, you can create content with that, and you can just mention that designed by so and so, but it is your content as well. Because you could come up, you could be the designer could, or your supplier could share with you designs, and then maybe you're able to implement them, or you're able to advertise them, or come up. I don't know if you're able to get me, Oluchi.
Yes, I understand now. Thank you.
Yes, so you can use it, and you can just maybe just mention that designed by Georgine or designed by X and X for ownership purposes, but you can still create whatever content you want with it. Maybe you want to do a compilation of videos of the designs that you've done. You can take maybe 5 designs and create a reel with it. And you can just mention design by so and so, but the content is still yours. So that's one of the ways that you could implement that.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So I want to hope that Jibet, I answered you.
So, Charlie.
Oluchi, could you mute? Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to hope that I answered you, Jibet, that yes, if you don't have photos, whatever that you've posted is what is going to be found online. And then for the aspect of if you use different names, if the name that is searched on is not related to the other, is not linked in any way to the other name, it's not going to appear. But unless the person searches you with the different names, no, you won't. It won't appear across the platforms. I want to hope, Jivet, I answered you. Yes, Oluchi, go ahead. You're welcome, Jivet.
You have attended to me. Sorry, I raised my hand in error.
Oh, okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, an example. Okay, Oluwatumisin, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing great. So I just want to chip in one or two things concerning the questions that were asked. Okay, that I've Divet, especially that if you have any photos on social media, will you be found on social media? It depends. It depends. Depends. Some you luckily you might be found, some you might not. And it's actually good. It's so since it's social media, I think is there a way you post without any picture? That's the question you ask. Is there at least one at one point in time you will have posted at least one or two pictures, especially if you are probably is a business or personal branding, you will have actually posted a picture, which Google itself will actually attach to you. So then going to the second question. Now, using this friend name on social media is not really advisable because it shows disparity or it shows non-uniformity of probably the brand or the company. So you have to try as much as possible to use the same name across all platforms. So when they key in just one word that is attached to the company pops up. You know, when they are searching on Instagram, they don't have to search on that name to find it. On a tweet, on TikTok, for example, or Google, you search a particular name, it's usually one handle that is showing instead of 3 or 4 handles based on how you use the platforms. So using different names is not really ideal for even personally, it's not ideal. I had to change mine recently. I was using different names on my LinkedIn name was formal, my Facebook name was informal. I had to switch it back to the same so that when you search my name, it shows the same thing all through out. The only thing is the handle for Instagram that does not that is just a nick, but you still find my name on it. So don't it's not advisable to use different names. Just ensure that as you're starting out, try to check for the names available so you can use a unique name across all platforms and it's very easy for you to come across. So that's what I want to say about that. And about Oluchi's question. Oluchi, one thing is this: what belongs to you is actually most of the time, because we're in digital age, is the caption. Most of the time is the caption, except you want to go through the process of getting a photographer to shoot for you, to dress is get model to shoot for you. You can go online to get some picture that of what you can do or what your designs are. Then you say something concerning it from your own perspective. So there are so many industries or so many people that are posting so many things, but eventually you sit on another plan, you're like, what's this? Where is this coming from? But acknowledgement, like my colleague said, says credit the source of the image so that the person does not come and drag you, as we will say. The person will not come and say, yeah, this is my image, even acknowledge way. So try as much as possible to acknowledge that particular image if it's from a particular source. Like for example, there are open source websites as Pixels, Unsplash. So when you take images from there, you have to credit them, okay, from Unsplash, or they might even give you the name of the person who actually did that design of shoot the photo. Then you can just put it there, okay, from Unsplash. So it's good that you can your own creativity is your own idea of creating the content with any image that you come across online or physically or anywhere. So that's what I want to chip in. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for those great insights. And I want to believe your questions have been answered. Thank you so much. I can see another question from Titilayo. Are we opening another page differently from the one we are using to promote our content? No, I want you to promote your own page. So you'll use your page. Yeah, you'll use your own page to promote your content. So I want to hope that has been answered. Okay, if there are no more questions, I'm going to be dropping the attendance link shortly. Please hold on. Oh, you're welcome, Abiola. You're welcome, Juliet. So I've dropped the attendance link. Please be sure to fill it. And I really want to thank you all so much for attending class today and for your participation. It was really a great session having you guys. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you next week. Thank you Oluwatomisin. Thank you everyone. I've dropped the attendance link. Please be sure to capture it. And if there's nothing else, I'd love to wish each and every one of you a lovely evening and a great weekend ahead. See you on Monday.